recording. Checking all dish over here. Here we go with the intro.
No,
Guys,
stop. No.
guys, come on! I'm trying to start my show. Guys, no, come on, stop! All right, that's it. I'm starting the show.
Damn it.
Ugh. This show is not for kids. This show is about chaos and talking over coffee. So let's get going. Call me the DarkTranny. Hey, savages. Happy Monday. Welcome back. We survived another weekend in Biden's America. Fuck! Yes, we've done it. All right. During the pre-show today, we featured the stylings, a very fun Halloween, well, I'll just say it as the title says, a Beach Dub Revolution Halloween special. Brought to us by King of Casual. I'm going to drop his link into the chat. Check it out. It was visually pleasing and the beats were enjoyable. All right. Where do I start today? Well, for as many eye drops as I put into my eyes, these corneas just do not want to moisten up properly nor be as flexible as I need them to be. So let me just go on through the chats and let's see. Good morning, Cam Killer. Good morning, Feisty Ace. Good morning, King of Casual. And I imagine Sagacious Owl is with you. And we have, let's see, some guy from Maine. And let's see, Pitbull Doorbell. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And let's see, now why can't I just, this damn technology, and why does the slider bar have to be so small? Good morning, Kelly girl. And let's see, look at this. I'm like in Rougarou.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm about to break my spine. I don't know why I have to like tilt my head back to read, but somehow I guess maybe. And Rain Off, good morning. Toadload, good morning. And it's like, I think it's like has to do something with the photons and the way they come through these old corneas and stuff. If I like tip my head back, I can see things better. Because let me tell you something. Do you think I want to be picking up these glasses every damn time? These glasses, every time I put them on, I get scratched. And it's like it's removing the hair out of my temple area. And someday when I go back to being a full-time dude, I'd like to have fucking sideburns and not some stupid ass I don't want to look like someone took a damn clippers to the side of my head. So let us start today with this bullshit. I received an email from it's from Democrats.com. I am not doxing. All right, I want to start with that right hot. Okay, subject, stop MAGA election violence with swipe blue. Who the fuck said that there's going to be MAGA election violence other than the people on the other side of the aisle? It's like, and they're not even everyone. I mean, like, my husband's a Democratic voter, okay, and he's not violent, nor is he expecting, like, people on the other side to be violent. But apparently, Democrats.com wants to use a bunch of fear porn on a Monday to kick some shit off. So, let's see. It says, hi, friend. Child, please. Is that mic on? Okay, it's on. Is everything... Here, let me go check out the scene quickly. Because as I was explaining during the pre-show, I had my shit all wonky on Friday. Pissed me off while I was doing my 6-mile climb. Okay, it's going to be a good day. All right, so, hi, friend. As election day nears, MAGA Republican election voters... MAGA Republican election violence is escalating. Really? Okay, let's see. The attempted assassination of Speaker Pelosi and hospitalization of her 82-year-old husband, Paul. Really? Fucking bring your receipts, dude. Okay, Proud Boys and Oath Keepers are signing up as poll workers and Dropbox watchers to intimidate Democratic voters. Really? Just by their presence is like, that's violence, apparently. In Phoenix, prosecutors are investigating the filming of early voters in Mesa armed vigilantes in tactical gear were seen watching a mail-in ballot box. That's violent? In 50 out of 67 Pennsylvania counties, election chiefs have left because of threats, harassment, and intimidation. Where's that pussy meme I saw of that big old whale where it says that the largest pussy is on this whale? You can fit 6 grown men inside of it. Sweetie, no, we've got bigger pussies than if election chiefs have left because of threats, harassment, and intimidation. What? Where are they? Where are their stories? I want receipts. Okay, 3 Michigan men with militia ties. Ooh, really? Which militia? Were found guilty of providing material support for the plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. That's number one, that's old news. Number two, didn't we find out that those men weren't even... Oh, look at you guys. You guys are talking. You guys are talking. So I am sorry if I'm missing anything in the chats. If you want my... What was that? Okay, I'm just going to chalk that up to someone had a stroke. And get help if that is the case, because strokes are not funny. If anyone wants my attention in the chat and you know how to use large font, like TRT or something like that, then I can, I'll try to like catch it out of the corner of my eye with the good cornea. Okay, so on Friday, DHS, I guess that's the Department of Homeland Security, warned MAGA Republicans could attack election officials. Why? Why would the Department of Homeland Security be like talking any of that shit? And why am I getting this email to like tell me that, oh shit, it's like the elections are in peril, and they're saying it could be like January 6th in the battleground states. What's going to be like January 6th? Oh, does that mean like is Trump going to be having like a bunch of get-togethers and stuff like that? I wonder if that's what they mean. My favorite AC/DC song, TRT Dynamite. Is that a real song? Holy shit. Oh, it's TNT. Okay. So anyway, Swipe Blue has just gone nuts with this phone app, and I covered this last week. It's this stupid-ass app that you put on your phone. It gets into your contact list, and then and they equate it to being like Tinder. That's the fucked up thing, is that this Swipe Blue app is marketed as being like Tinder for politics. Do they not know what Tinder is? Tinder is a hookup site. But, leave it to these people to go and, conflate sex and politics. Whatever. Anyway, the app goes into your contact list. You swipe left on one thing to, like, mark. I think it's like you swipe left if they're Democratic. You swipe right if they're Republican. You tap it if you're undecided. And then it collects the information, sends it to a database, which they say doesn't exist, but everyone knows the fucking database exists. And it's basically a Stasi app to turn in other people on their political leanings. So yes, that's the kind of hype going on, which I received in my email over the weekend. So, spooky. Let's move on over then. Are you over there laughing?
No, it sounds like 451's in there, and he keeps saying spooky over and over. I don't know if it's him or not, but
I love it when he does that shit. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed during 45-1 actual, sometimes he has these very subliminal sounds with his voice. He is a very talented, and I don't know if he would accept this as being true, but this is my opinion. I think he's a very talented voice actor. And he has the ability to add some very interesting content. When I'm listening to this stuff, like when I'm reviewing it, sometimes I hear him in the background doing that stuff. And I'm like, that is so fucking awesome when he does that. Okay, so Flip City Magazine. Let me get on over here. And then let me go over to OBS and change my scene. Look at that.
Speaking of Flip City.
Yes.
There he is.
I got an email from them.
Yes.
They may want me to do some voice acting, actually.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Totally. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Fun. Keep me posted on that.
Yeah, I will.
Good. Flip City Magazine. It's a lot like Mad Magazine, except for based people, okay? The content of Flip City Magazine also tends to go along with the current vibe. They release an issue every 2 months, I believe. Right now they're on their September, October issue. It is a subscription type site. Let me go on over to the actual site so I can like scroll around. It is yes, you have to subscribe in order to get their publications. Currently, I am running code BDE, which you may know as Big Dick Energy, all right, for a 10% discount site-wide. In Flip City, they also offer apparel through Rise Attire. I like this clothing, okay? It's like, it's colorful. It's got nice, what do you call, pertinent information in their designs. And it's a fuck ton better than wearing, like, black block, gray, and depression. And when you use the discount code BDE, you'll actually be supporting 451 Actual, because I commandeered his code. I had his permission, though, so it's all good. Don't feel guilty about using it. Please, by all means, do. And, yes, Flip City Mag at flipcitymag.com. So, let's go on over here and bring up, oh, look at that shirt. That shirt! See, it's the shirt. There's something about that shirt. It like brings the energy. I don't know what it is, but it does. All right. Let's see.
It brings out your big dick.
Pardon me?
Nothing.
Say it again.
You said it brings something out of me, and I said it brings out your big dick.
Oh, it does. It does. It really does. All right. Let me switch the scenes back to the call-in show. But yes, by supporting Flip City Magazine, you support based artists and based comic creators and based article writers. And by using code BDE, you're also supporting 451 Actual. So, on with the dark day for trans youth as... What the fuck is this? Get rid of that. All right. Looking at the comments. Okay, yes. Oh, they have one that's like a pan? Oh, it's a magnifying glass. I thought that was a frying pan. Okay, so, dark day for trans youth as... Oh, my Lord. Oh, let's find out. Dark day for trans youth as Florida moves to ban gender-affirming care for minors. Good. Good. Because let's see what this article has to say. LGBTQ plus Skittles alphabet advocates expressed outrage and resolve. Oh, that means that they're going to get emboldened. After a joint committee of Florida's two medical boards moved a step closer to adopting a draft rule backed by Republican Governor Ron DeSantis that would ban doctors from providing gender-affirming health care to transgender youth. The hearing was stacked against trans youth from the start. Good. Okay, after 5 often heated hours of testimony, just 5 hours of heated testimony, a joint committee of the Florida Board of Medicine and Florida Board of Osteopathic Medicine. That's interesting. That's bone. So what we're talking about here is a portion of this had to deal with the bone aspect, like, your skeletal structure. That's what osteopathic refers to. Voted in favor of proposal to bar doctors in the state from prescribing puberty blocking and hormone treatments for patients younger than 18. And that's a good thing, and I'm going to tell you why. If you, let's say, the body skeletal structure doesn't actually mature.
Who the hell is tap dancing right now?
Thank you.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm muted, so it's not me.
That was me. I'm leaving.
You
Goodbye.
suck.
It's main tapping.
Let me see.
Fuck you.
I love these guys. I love these savages. Oh, it's so good on a Monday. It's this shirt. Okay. So age estimation, let me see, evaluation of skeletal and dental age using third molar calcification. Guys, just go look up, like, when does the human body for a male or a female actually become calcified enough where you can start actually going through osteoporosis, like losing calcium out of your bones, all right? The reason why they had the osteopathic medicine professionals there is because when you block a child's puberty, you're also, you're fucking with their skeletal system. And then let's say that you have a male child and you remove that male child's testes, all right, and you put them on estrogen, and let's say that you can't afford the estrogen anymore. Well, after, let's say you can't get estrogen and you have no testes, all right, you following me? That
Yeah.
male, what's up?
I said, yeah, I'm thinking somebody ends up with bird bones.
Somebody ends up with fucking menopause is what happens. It's like
Well, that too.
if that male
It's all
child,
it's all bad.
it's all bad. It's like you don't fuck with a kid's hormones. It's plain and simple. You don't go and remove ovaries from a female unless there's like something going on like cancer or polycystic ovarian cysts or something that's causing the female a lot of pain. If the child
True.
is not going through any kind of medical, physiological trauma, then why the fuck would you start removing pieces from a child? That's retarded. That is, and it's wicked and it's abusive to that child. I'm just gonna put it out there like that. Did I know any of this before I started my fucking journey? No. Am I finding out now? Fuck yeah, I'm finding out. And that's why the DarkTranny was born, is because coming to this realization, the racist tranny was just about comedy and shitlord posting and fuck shit like that. The moment that I noticed that they were adding children into the mix of this whole gender affirming care and this whole LGBTQ thing, I mean, even when I thought about like Desmond is amazing and these child drag queens, okay, that part pissed me off. But that was like, okay, they're exploiting kids, and that pisses me off. It was the moment they started getting the kids involved in the actual medical aspects that the DarkTranny had to come forth, and that's why this show exists now.
And I just want to back up on
Yes.
that. You said about they don't take your ovaries out and stuff. You know, I had an ectopic pregnancy, and it was pretty close up to my ovary. And one thing the doctor made sure to tell me is that he did keep my ovary in there for hormonal purposes. So
Right?
hello, and that was in 1997. So they, you know, it's old. They know that you need to leave the ovaries in.
Yeah, because you still need to have some sort of like hormone production. And when you remove, I mean, just, I think I've already said it, it's just like the common sense should be if you're removing the ability for a child to produce hormones or if you're blocking their puberty, you're fucking with their development. It's not fucking reversible. They say, oh, it's safe and reversible. And then this one, I wish I had the video, but this one jackass was like, oh, the surgeries are reversible. Bullshit.
No.
Where am I going to get testes? Where are those children going to get new testes from? What? You're going to 3D print some fucking hormone producing It doesn't work like that. Let me continue the article.
No.
Oh.
Can I interject one more thing?
Yeah.
Is there any way that one day we can look into what Roe versus Wade actually says that it can do?
Let's put it on the list.
I can't find the document, and I would just love to just see what it says, because I think they're using it in other ways other than just to abort a child.
Let's do it in the deep dive during tomorrow's extended show, which will also fire me up because tomorrow I have another appointment with the Gender Affirming Care Clinic. So, yes, let's do a dive into that tomorrow during the extended show.
Okay, and I'll be praying for you for tomorrow and for everything, that no evil comes to you and that they cannot try to trick you and confuse you and put you under some trance and
thank you.
All the bullshit, but you're awake and you just remember to stay awake.
Okay? I've got you guys behind me and I feel it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Love you guys too. All right, so the proposed rule would also prohibit gender-affirming surgery for minors. Thank God. All right, which experts noted rarely occurs. Well, even the fact it occurs at all. All right, the proposal is scheduled to advance for a final vote for a full medical boards by November 4th, so keep an eye on that. Some supporters of the proposed rule shared testimony of how they rushed into treatments. the most common of which puberty-blocking medications are reversible, and later regretted their decision. A phenomenon study shows less than 1% of people who transition. Well, guess what? We're not there yet. Because there are a lot of us who are going to be detransitioning or trying to detransition because the marketing of gender affirming care was not transparent enough.
That's some bullshit they spreading over there.
Yes.
Like modern day snake oil.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
The state. I mean, okay. I don't want to get too much off the article because this is our short format show. But I want to say this. I was told I was going to present female. The whole entire thing was like I was told that my whole demeanor would be affected and that the outcomes would be realistic and passable and such. And had that been true, that would have been maybe a plus, something I would have said, okay, this actually worked. What they didn't say, I mean, they told me about blood clots. They told me about blood pressure. They told me there were like a number of risks involved. And I was like, okay, so I might have a stroke. So I might have blood clots. So I might have, weight gain. I might have like these things. I was like, okay, exercise and diet, those things I can handle. They did not mention that without estrogen, I would go into menopause and start, accelerating osteoporosis. They did not tell me how this was going to fuck with my mood to the degree it has. They did not tell me it was going to change the way that I think about things. And they didn't tell me that as I got older, as we are seeing in other transsexuals, biology always wins. It's like, I don't want to go in and have facial fillers to make myself look more feminine. Neither does my husband. Now that he's like woken up to this, watching my 6 to 7 year transformation and realizing that it's all like been, I mean, granted, there was a period there where I actually did look like a heavy set woman. I really did look like a Helga. I mean, a very, stocky German woman is what I looked like for a while there. The dude is coming back out. And it's like, there's no fucking way to stop it. It's like, I'm not fucking passable for this shit. I got lied to. And I'm not about to like sit quietly while they go and do this to kids. So what they're doing in Florida right now, I completely applaud. All right, so on with the article. While some proponents of the prospective ban made misleading and sometimes outright false claims, medical experts, trans youth, and their parents and loved ones testified about the critical importance of gender-affirming care. Based on what data, what empirical data was shown? None. It's all about feelings and fear. And they use this fucking suicide argument. It's like, well, if I don't do this to my kid, then my kid will commit suicide. Maybe that says more about your fucking parenting than it does about this process. Because let me tell you something, and I don't know if 45-1 is still there, but thank you. While we were digging, 45, do you remember the time that you were digging around and following the money and found that study which is going to be done in 2024?
Yeah, the one that's looking at the long range effects on hormone blockers in kids. Right?
I believe it was the neurological aspects.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, how it affects their neurochemistry. There is a study which is slated to happen in 2024. And what does that tell anyone with a modicum of intelligence?
They have no idea what it does right now.
They have no fucking idea how this is going to affect these kids. Exactly. So, let's see this testimonial here.
Well, it would seem that they have some clue to some of it because chemical or castration has been going on since Esther, which is I don't know how many years ago Esther was. I'm talking about the book of the Bible, Esther.
Right.
The eunuchs were the ones that took care of the females and taught them how to be to approach the king and everything like that. So they know more than what we think they know, and they're letting on a little less than what they really know, because there's got to be ancient books out there, but they probably haven't read them either. So there's that.
Which is even more nefarious because you're absolutely right. We've had eunuchs in like cultures throughout history, and they know exactly what it does to these men and stuff like that. These men don't live out long, productive lives. They were there as slaves to royal females. It's like they were also like, oh my god, they were singers, they were used for entertainment, they were used for fetishism and stuff like that. It's like, if we're gonna talk about this, let's be real about the history of fucking castration and shit. And also with the drugs which they're using for the puberty blocking mechanisms in males alone. And I can't speak too intelligently on females because I'm not a female. I've never had a female experience other than growing tits which hurt like fuck, and like my hips are a little bit bigger. I've had mammograms and I've had a lumpectomy. I mean, and then the emotional aspects of it, which sound a little bit misogynistic, but I'm here to testify. My brain has never operated like this when I was just on testosterone naturally. It's like estrogen has a big fucking effect on how things process through the brain, and I can attest to that. So, on to this 15-year-old testimony. I am 15 years old. I knew with certainty that I am trans when I was 10 years old. Child. Okay. When I first came out, everyone rejected me and told me it was a phase because it was. Probably. In all likelihood, it was probably a phase. It was probably a phase. 5 years, because you don't have enough data, child. All right, 5 years later, it is not a phase. When I was 10 years old, I was suicidal and would self harm because nobody believed me, and I knew I couldn't keep going through the wrong puberty and wait 8 years before I could transition. Who
Sounds
told
like
you
no
that?
strong parental figure or
Pardon
no
me?
strong father figure in the fucking group.
Is that Raynolf?
I believe it might be. I'm
He's
not
got
walking into the
Raynolf right
Jitsi
there,
right
buddy.
now to find out. But yeah,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
right now.
this is
I
why
love
a
Raynolf.
strong family unit is so important, because when I was younger, I I had some feminine qualities. It's like at the same time, my dad was there to like whoop the shit out of me if I got a little too faggy and stuff.
Well,
Because
it sounds like the kid was getting some parental advice because they knew that they had to wait 8 years, so there was definitely a conversation somewhere being had.
yeah, somebody's adding information to this child's head. All right, so let me continue because it looks like this is like more of it. Okay, so this child became secretive and would lie to my parents about anything related to my trans identity as to hide it from them. Because when I told them at age 10, they didn't believe me. Last year, right before I turned 15, I came out to them again, and they were more accepting at that point. I had wanted to start transitioning for 5 years. After telling them I want to try and start, they hesitantly accepted it, and I'll get to the aspect of why that like threw me into a fucking mini rage right there for just a moment. All right, I want to try and start. They hesitantly accepted it because maybe oh God, they should have just gone with their instincts. And we tried to start the process of getting testosterone. Oh my God, this is for a girl. It took me 6 months to get testosterone. It was not easy. It only took you 6 months? It used to take years of living as the other sex. It only took me 6 months. Oh shit. Okay, it is not easy. Oh fuck. No matter what your propaganda says, I had to fight every step of the way and be denied every step of the way until finally after 4 different professionals, I was given my prescription. Going on testosterone is the single best decision I've ever made in my life, and it is not an exaggeration. I am no longer suicidal. I can finally acknowledge and embrace the fact that I have a future and a family that loves and accepts me for who I am. I don't have to pretend to be someone else. Oh, darling. Until now, until you. In written testimony against the proposed rule, American Academy of Pediatrics President Dr. Moira And then, Myra, God bless you for your last name. I'm not going to try to attempt it. No, fuck it. Zalagi. Okay, if you're Polish, I think
Okay.
it's Polish. What's up?
You said that, or 451 said that they're just going to be doing the study in 2024.
That's according to 45. Are you still there?
Yes.
You were looking through some sort of financial government report. Do you remember the
Yeah,
source?
U.S. spending.
U.S. spending.
Yeah, it was U.S. spending. Yeah.
So they're going to do all this trans affirming stuff to kids, and then they're going to use all these kids that they've done this shit to study, to see the effects of how it actually works on them. So they're putting the cart before the horse, or the horse before the cart. I'm not real sure which direction that is, but that really sounds fucked up.
In my
It is fucked up.
assessment, they are using these kids as the experiment.
Guinea pigs. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes. Because we don't know what's going to happen. Where in history?
We know what's going to happen.
Well, okay, yes.
They're going to hit, a good percentage of them is going to hit the 46% rate.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
what we're trying to prevent.
Yes. That is exactly
I don't
what
want
we're
them to kill themselves. I want to be able to provide evidence. You know, obviously going through this process with Kevin, figuring out, you know, what the path forward is for detransitioning, and there's obviously people doing it, because the entire reason why Florida shut down the transition care, the gender affirming care for teens, is because of testimony from detransitioners. They told the board, like, this is what we've gone through. This is the health problems that we've had. It completely destroyed my life, yada, yada, yada. And that testimony is what convinced them to nix the entire thing. So the more of this that we can get out there, the better, because we can actually save lives, man. If we can discover a path like, hey, it's not the end of the world. I know that you obviously, you know, did some self-mutilation or whatever. Maybe you got to the point where you feel like there's no going back. We got to find a way to, you know, help these people. That's the whole point.
And
prevent them from doing it in the first place.
We're doing that. We're there. We're there. Keep going.
And I am looking forward to the day. Oh man, it's like I don't want. Oh shit, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's like I don't want to tire out people who are viewing this on a daily basis, because I know a number of you actually tune in on a daily basis. Hang in there, guys. Hang in there, savages, because it can get tiresome for some people. And at the same time, if this message does not get out, people are just going to go along blindly, much like the people who gender affirmed me early on are now coming to me and saying that they are sorry that they ever gender affirmed me, because they were socially instructed, or persuaded to go along with this because it was the right thing to do at the time. And they had their best intentions. And now people are coming back and saying, well, I don't understand why you ever did it in the first place, because you were clearly masculine. And when you said that you were making the transition, we thought it was like pretty crazy, but we were there for you to gender affirm you, and we're so sorry we ever did. That's what happens when you actually do this fucking experiment. Is it not just involves the person doing it? It involves people around, and people want to be supportive. And sometimes when people are being supportive, they're not being true to their core values or their core beliefs, because the fucking government, in this government and several other across the world, are like, what? Making it a fucking crime to question someone's gender identity? To call it hate speech? If you attempt to ask a person, are you sure you really want to do that? Using logical dialogue and wanting to actually, like, you know, ask a person, like, why are you doing this? And it's like, do you understand what might happen to you? What I'm doing right now, what you're participating in right now, is considered hateful, bigot phobic. Do you know this? Pretty sure most of you do.
The movie is already out there. Hedwig and the Angry Inch. I don't remember what year it was. They did all the Broadway plays, and so that was kind of a counter narrative to what had happened to her in World War II, and she wasn't satisfied. So it's not hate speech. They're going to have to ban that movie. There's no such thing as hate speech. We love you, and we want to help you understand that there is male and female biology. And if you mess with your biology, it's going to be messed up for your whole life. And we don't want your biology to be messed up.
And that's
You
the
were born
message.
the way you were born. Can't we use that song against them? I was born the way I was born. You're born the way you're born. That doesn't mean that you let a doctor chop you up.
Exactly. And that is the message
Yep.
that we're trying to get out. Not only, I mean, it's like this is not a kid's show, but parents, if you're out there and if you see this show, stop just for a moment. If you even had a slight bit of you which has some sort of what is the word I'm looking for? Hesitation. That's your instincts. That's natural. That's called health. Kid.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was on mute.
It's okay. It's okay. We love you. All right. Um, if you are a parent, and if you even have the slightest amount of reservation about this, if your child comes to you and says, Mom or Dad, or whomever you are, I want to do this because I think I'm in the wrong body. Try affirming your child's biological sex first. I would say that, and see if your loving parental style and be supportive of who your child is biologically. It's never too late. And this part right here, I need people to understand. You don't have to do this as a child. You can do this when you're older, when you have much more information, after your skeleton has calcified properly, after your brain has properly set in and matured around the age of 25. Don't do this to yourself until you're financially ready, because you're going to have doctor bills now for the rest of your life if you do this. And if you can't afford the doctor's bills, if you can't afford the prescriptions, you're fucked. Consider that. There are
And
a
we're,
number.
I
Pardon?
just want to, can I just say real quick that this is fair use and we are doing this for educational purposes under 17 USC 107. And this is our opinions, and we are not medical experts, and we are not telling anybody to do anything but get information, research. And unfortunately, I feel that a lot of these parents are being Munchausen's
Munchausen by proxy.
that somehow that they have, I'm not really sure how society has created so many of these types of parents, and maybe they haven't. Maybe it's just an illusion that we are receiving. But the whole phenomena of gender being, that there's this many people that are all of a sudden on the wagon. It's just
The phenomenon of gender being fluid is what you're talking about.
not even fluid gender, but that you would change your gender. I mean, come on, that was something that was, I believe, forced on the men in the time of Esther. I'm not sure that they chose that. Maybe they did. I don't really know.
All I have to say is this. When it comes to gender, there's masculine, feminine, and neuter. Whatever fantasies that people might want to put in their heads that they can transcend humanity and become, and this might actually work into the transhumanism aspect of this, believing that you're anything other than masculine or feminine or neuter is fantasy beyond that point. There are... Pardon me? I missed that.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, ma'am.
No, go ahead.
So, say, my question is, what is the percentage of these people that are actually going through? What does the percentages look like?
We need to
And
find out.
how many of these families that are allowing their children to go through this fucking process How many of them are broken homes? How many of them are trying to live vicariously through their children? And what are the general mental issues that these parents have that do not allow them to see that they're fucking their kids up?
Well, if we looked at the Library of Congress, I bet you we'd find nothing, and that might be something we want to do. Um, I heard
Well,
16% of people are now in that the whole I can't even say the
well,
alphabet.
yeah, that's based off of the millennials and Zoomers. It is. It's like 18 or 19% actually.
How did it
And
get
I
that
find that
high?
absurd. How does
How
it
did
go
it?
from 1% to 18%? It just doesn't make any sense. The standard
That,
deviation is a lie. It's a lie.
it's the whole here. Everybody has to be inclusive of everybody, so everybody becoming accepting of it creates the idea of, well, if that person's like that, I'm like that too. So I want to be part of the in group. And that's just a mass psychosis on freaking a hell of a scale. That you can go from less than 1% to freaking that high of a percentage. It's just people trying to fit in and jump on the new cool thing. And apparently they're trying to think that this is the cool thing.
Well,
So, what
let's
would you say about that statistically, Kevin? Something going from 1% to 18%.
I would say it makes sense if we look at the history of what they've done to masculinity over the past decade. I would say that when you're shaming people for being born male and then having several corporations over what? It's been like what? Has it been about 9 years, 10 years of shaming men for being men? For what? This whole fucking push of toxic masculinity, this whole fucked up patriarchy movement, this whole like disrespecting men and stuff.
You mean
I
phase
see.
two of the feminist movement?
Well, it's not. They're not even feminists. They're like they're feminine upset. It's not real feminism to me means that you are a strong female presence. You have capabilities. The idea, oh my gosh. I'm having so many thoughts running through my mind right now because I've never heard a feminist argument against putting a man who identifies as a female against a biological female in competitive sports, and instead these women get called trans exclusionary radical feminists when what they are is they are women who see that it is fucking abusive to put a biological woman in the same, like boxing, mixed martial arts, any of these competitive sports which have like contact. Oh, I'm about to lose consciousness. The
Let's write
blood.
that book. Let's write that book. Let's write that
I
book.
think we're writing it right now. And then
I mean,
you
it's as a feminist. You guys know I'm a feminist. I was in women's studies for a minute there, from sociology to women's studies.
Okay, Callie, quick question.
Yeah.
If I was to stop and open the door for you to
Oh,
let you go in
I
front of
would.
me, would you be offended?
No way. I would thank you. I would might even like I've complimented men. Oh, your mom must be very proud of you.
I
No,
get dirty
and I
looks.
absolutely taught my son, you open doors for people, and you might even open a door for another dude. Just give him, just
I've done
open the door
both,
for
you know. I
everybody.
get dirty looks though.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why I was asking.
no, that's disgusting. And I open doors for older people, and I definitely open doors for veterans and tell them thank you for their service. No, I'm not raised that way. I'm telling you,
I
I'm
wouldn't
a
either.
feminist that ended up in feminist studies because I had problems with my sociology teacher and I didn't want to deal with her. But I liked the feminist studies. I liked reading books by women. I liked knowing their perspective. I liked having that perspective to be able to further my own opinions about what feminism is instead of just being called a feminazi or whatever. Yeah, there are so many. The rainbow of feminism is huge, but the
yeah.
wave that we're on right now is the wave where some of us are going to be yelling at each other because I don't believe in this whole child bullshit. I don't believe in hurting children. I don't believe in hurting men. I don't believe in hurting veterans. I don't believe in hurting old people. See, that's the whole thing, and that's where feminism got lost. It wasn't just about us being able to do whatever. No, it's about being supportive of humanity.
The part
Right?
that you're missing there, ma'am, is the feminist movement was taken over and infiltrated by the Marxist movement. So it mutated and bastardized the whole fucking movement.
No, and I know that because I studied Marx, but I didn't study Marx in feminism. Well, so the feminists use Marx's theory, yes, but I didn't study Marx there. I studied that in sociology.
Well, right
So,
now,
and they take what they want. They take the one sentence that. How do you know how this all works? You take the one sentence that supports your fight, your individual, and that's the problem with the modern feminists is it's all about them. They put themselves in the center of the situation, so they have bias. That's what Marxism tells you. You can be the center of research. Before that, supposedly you did, double blind studies where there was no bias in the research, which is bullshit because there was always bias. We can look at Kinsey report for bias, where he went out and had certain type of prisoners doing research on sex with children. Okay, there's bias there because you're only using one type of person to study this stuff. It's a whole clusterfuck, but one thing I have learned is there is nothing new under the sun, and there are books that are 1,000 years old that we don't have in our Library of Congress. But keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. So a feminist isn't just one thing. There are many different types of feminists, and there are some to the point. It's to the point where you can't even be a feminist anymore, which is detrimental to women. Just like what Kevin was saying, that I can't even speak up against having trans men compete against my daughter if I want my daughter to be a top woman athlete.
I wanted
She
to get
don't
into
have that
that.
chance to do that anymore.
I wanted to go into that when I was making my statement on like how these corporate pushes and these social movements have gone to destroy the concept of masculinity. At the same time, they're removing the. It's like for so long, women wanted to be equal, like have some sort of footing where they could have acknowledgement, whether that be a supportive, a supporting role in a relationship, whether that be a businesswoman, whether that be an athlete. It's like so many things now. And what these feminists are not talking about when they're like all like, oh, down with the patriarchy and everything like that. Where are they with that energy when women are being
In the
fucking
patriarchy is fucking
erased?
up the women.
They're being
Yeah.
erased.
The fucked up part is the patriarchy doesn't actually fucking, and their idea of patriarchy doesn't actually exist because the world was, the home and everything like that was based off of a matriarchy, not a fucking patriarchy. The patriarchy would die, the male would die off, but the woman would be the one that would still be alive to fucking continue raising and fucking making sure everything was taken care of at the home front.
And let's
But the
look at
patriarchy isn't you guys. The patriarchy is the bourgeoisie.
Yeah, it's an idea.
Yeah.
and
We're
let's
not. I'm not a feminist. You're not a patriarch. We're the proletariats. We don't own the means of production. We get to use the means of production. We get to use their tools, but we don't own it. That's who the patriarchy is. The patriarchy is, and the bourgeoisie are the owners of, and that's Marxism. And we're not that. And none of these little feminist bitches running around getting $1 million to buy houses through programs and nonprofits are bourgeoisie. They
And-
never will be.
and let's
They
take a
can
look.
they can buy the Louis Vuitton, but they're never going to own the Louis Vuitton.
And as
Go on.
far as the women coming and jumping and getting mad when you open the door, I've had one actually get mad at me when I opened the door, so I slammed the door on her.
Oh dear.
Like, okay, bam, I hit her with the fucking door as I pulled it shut.
Shit.
My mama didn't raise me that way.
But don't
Mine
don't.
didn't raise me that way either, but when the lady started running her mouth, I'm like, all right, you want to see a dude here? Bam! I just fucking slammed the door on her as I fucking walked in.
All right, I'll
I
see
can
y'all
see
in
that.
in a little bit. I
We'll
gotta
see you at your
hop
show,
out.
45.
See ya.
All right, be safe.
All right, so that was the Twinkle, and I want to say you will know these people by what they stand for. Currently, we have a woman who is in Italy, and I'm sure that some of you may know her. She was elected, immediately called a fascist, immediately called a Nazi because she stood for family values, because she's a proud Italian, because she's a nationalist, because she doesn't have time for this kind of eroding, am I even using corrosive bullshit, which is being used against family structures which are traditional to Western culture and values. Families are fucking important. Nuclear families are fucking important. Not every parent is perfect. And the data shows that when you remove aspects of the masculine and feminine from the home, you get an imbalanced offspring, and it can really fuck a kid up.
Well,
Yeah, I can verify that. My oldest, with the situation with his mother and all that, he's kind of broken.
Yeah. And that's what they're
well,
trying to do, is they're trying to break our families, break our nation, break our resolve, and fuck them. It's
Well, the
like,
bourgeoisie don't like our families anyways. They want us just to be obedient slaves.
well,
So
fuck
yes.
them. Fuck
that's
them.
Well,
that's where we're coming from. So if a feminist Marxist is gonna be a bitch to you or whatever, just figure out, cover yourself in the blood of the lamb and walk away, because they are they are possessed by ideals and ideologies that are not serving anybody but themselves.
well, if you noticed, what they've done is first they removed religion. Now they're destroying the family. So it's just a consecutive thing. Everything that holds a society together, they're systematically dismantling it or trying to,
Well, they
and
woke
then
us.
jumping up and down, telling those of us who want to maintain the old way of thinking, air quotes, that we are a bygone of a forgotten era that just needs to be gone ahead and fucking
Yeah,
taken out.
No.
because we stand between their slaves. That's the whole
Uh-huh.
thing. The United States has always stood between the slaves.
Well,
You
I've
know,
got
the
something to say on that.
bourgeoisie and the proletariat. The proletariat is the slaves. We are all the slaves, and we've had the pleasure of living in the United States of America, and under an assumption that we were not slaves. And so we went out and educated ourselves. We learned stuff, and
And some of us
they don't
actually
like it. They don't like it.
and some of us actually took part in their darkness and their experiments and have come out of
All of
it
us
on the
did.
other side. And I've got something to say to these people. You woke up the worst possible kind of slave.
All of
I'm
us.
not on your plantation anymore, sweeties. I'm on the other side now. And I'm taking all that knowledge you gave me, and I'm letting these people know what you're up to.
It's
Congratulations.
the new Underground Railroad.
God is
Mm-hmm.
love. Keep it covered. Keep yourself covered. Keep yourself in prayer. You know who you're serving every day. We serve Jesus, and they can't stand that.
Exactly. Now let's see. We're
They
coming
can't
up on our
stand it.
last 7 minutes here. I want to let you guys know that Pastor Chatelet and I was a bad bitch apparently, and apparently I got our account thrown in Twitter jail when I said to Speaker Pelosi, "Wouldn't it be nice if your constituents had the same level of security? So white trashed with all the drinking and driving and now all this domestic drama. Clean your house, Nancy." Well, that's hate speech apparently. So we are currently appealing this. So over the next several days until this gets appealed, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing this channel, the DarkTranny, on your social media, that would be very much appreciated, as currently we are in jail. Let's see what else is going on.
Typical Twitter, you can't address anybody
It's
with
so
your feelings. That's just Twitter. That's why I don't use it. I never used it. I was just like, no, because I can't say anything. You can't say anything.
it's absolutely true. And during the pre-show, aside from King of Casual and his Halloween special, I was also playing the YouTube of Karen Hudas for anyone who would like to look up what Karen Hudas had to say. Let me see if I can get this. Can I even get this tab in there? Hold on. Let me see if I can just throw this in. I went through Yandex. But Karen Hudas has some very interesting things to say about our Federal Reserve and how the finances have been handled, and offers some ideas on how to get out from under the thumb of the Federal Reserve and such. So I'm not going to play an exhaustive because they are long videos. That's why it was played during the pre-show. But if you want to, go look up Karen Hudas. Let's see. I'm just going to type her name in
Sorry, I
the
missed that.
chat. It's fine, It's like mornings. Let's see. Let me go on over here now and look at what we had. I had 17 tabs open in another window of topics I wanted to cover today, and I am not at all sad that we spent all morning on the short format show. I feel that what we covered this morning was very important, and at the same time, I'm trying to see if I missed anything critical while we were together. I think I'm going to hold the rest of these tabs until tomorrow. So let me go back on over to Odysee, because 45.1 Actual is going to be starting on time today. Let me see, who do you want to do shout-outs for this morning? Well, of course, we're going to give Pastor Chatelet of Kekistan a shout-out, because he is the one who runs the pond. If you do not have the linky to the pond, if you're new, by all means, jump on over to the pond and see if that is your flavor. We also have, well, I don't see him right now. Where's Patriot Hangout?
It shut down yesterday at about 3 o'clock.
Oh, so he's not running a 24/7 live stream anymore?
I think he runs it out of his shop, so
Oh.
he's got to get back to the shop to turn it on.
All right. Well, when he's back up, then I can shout him out. Let's see. We've got Red Dawn Radio coming
Love
up.
it.
Pardon me?
I love the meme.
Which meme?
The one Red Dawn.
I don't know what
The one
you're
you got
looking
it.
at.
Oh, the pictures.
Oh, yes. The picture is gorgeous.
The Halloween.
I love the
Halloweeners.
graphics, too.
Also,
Alright.
don't forget American Ink Music premieres at 10:30 today with their new song Witch Hunt.
Do they?
Axe Truth tonight, I think, too.
They sure do.
Well, make sure you go on over here. Here, let me drop this in. This is for live DJ session with DJ Brandrack, and we're coming up on our last 58 seconds, it appears. Let me see if I can find Rougarou and MBB's based TV guide. Shit. Come on, where are you? Oh, there it is. Hold on, guys. All right.
Have some love, everybody. Have a great day.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Love
guys have
too.
a blessed one.
Alrighty, I'm going to go over to Jitsi now, and I'm hanging up with Jitsi. I'd like to thank Kid Seville, Pitbull Doorbell, Cali Girl, The Gray Man, and Rainoth for joining us today. I'm now going to close the Jitsi. God bless, and we'll see you guys over at
God
45.1.
bless.
And here we go.
Be good.
All right, you too. All right, and then let's see, closing off. Shiza, I have to get back over to 45.1. Come on. Move faster, Odysee. And of course, it's going to fucking take a shit. Odysee, for real, come on. All right, well, that has been... Oh, shit, here, maybe I can do this. I'm going to drop 45.1 Actual's link. That's where we're heading off to. For the 45.1 Actual Big Dick Energy Brigade radio show. We'll see you on over there. God bless, savages, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Now, how the fuck do I get out of here? Okay, here we go. All right. Take care.